Palin's bus tour is overshadowing actual campaigning by actual candidates, including Herman Cain, the Tea Party favorite and the former CEO of Godfather's Pizza, who's been campaigning in New Hampshire this week. He joins us now from Atlanta, his hometown. Mr. Cain, good morning to you. Can I just get a one-word answer? Seeing Sarah Palin on this bus tour with Donald Trump, does it frustrate you a little, these people that aren't candidates yet that are getting all this attention?
Nope.
Not at all.
One word. Nope.
Nope. Your premise is stupid. Next question, please.
I love Herman Cain for that answer. But look what they're doing. First, they cover her nonstop, and then they complain about that. And now they're going to other candidates to complain about the coverage they were doing, complaining about not covering her. I mean, I'm all confused.
I'm not. This is why media died. I officially buried it in 2008, and it's going to be interesting. Brent Bozell, always good to see you.
Buy the popcorn.
Yeah, good point. And don't forget, by the way, tomorrow night, Governor Palin's going to be here. We're going to talk about all of these issues, her One Nation bus tour, the 2012 race. Is she running? And what about her time with Donald Trump? That's all coming up tomorrow. First time to check in with Greta Van Susteren for a sneak peek of what she's got on.
I just had this. I have a Fox News alert. The media is silly.
The media is not silly; they're biased. That's just even worse.
Well, I mean, come on. It's funny. I mean, it's like they're chasing the bus like they're chasing the ballots in Florida. I mean, it's sort of funny. I mean, they're all falling all over themselves, and they're all mad because I got the interview, but nobody complained about the content. Just that I got it. Anyway,
I was happy. By the way, I like the interview.
Thank you very much. Anyway, moving right along. Tonight, we have the legal panel back. We have Bernie Grimm, Ted Williams, and Jim Hammer. Plus, we have Dick Morris here to talk about the race. There's a lot going on in the race. Besides Governor Sarah Palin, there's, of course, the big announcement with Governor Romney. And here's something special tonight for the viewers. We went to the Afghanistan embassy here in Washington, D.C., and had an interview with the ambassador, and you don't want to miss that.
All right, Greta Van Susteren in 19 short minutes. By the way, Fox News has launched a brand new application for your iPad. I just got the new version. I've had an iPad for a while. Love it. You get all the great features from foxnews.com and our iPhone application optimized specifically for your iPad. You can browse the Happening Now section for a quick snapshot of the day's hottest stories. Plus, you get news alerts, stream live video, and watch the latest Fox News Channel video clips. And you can download the Fox News app for free in the App Store. For more information on the web, just go to foxnews.com/iPad. But please note, the URL will not be live until after 9 a.m. tomorrow. Let not. Norton is here. Wait till you hear what he says about Wienergate. That and much more coming up on our Great American panel next. And tonight on our Great American panel, he's the former governor of the great state of Maryland. Bob Ehrlich is back with us. She is the Washington columnist for Fortune magazine, Fox News contributor. Nina Easton is back. He is a comedian who's very funny. He's hosting the Anti-Social Comedy Tour at the Chicago Comedy Festival next Wednesday. Jim Norton, and if you ever see him on HBO, it's not for the kids, because I've watched your comedy. Which,
Thank you.
By the way, I will admit, makes me laugh a lot.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Mitt Romney, his announcement from earlier today. We just had the interview with him. Here's what he said.
Barack Obama has failed America. When he took office, the economy was in recession, and he made it worse, and he made it last longer. 3 years later, over 16 million Americans are out of work or just quit looking for jobs. Millions more are unemployed. 3 years later, unemployment is still above 8%, and that was the figure he said his stimulus would keep from happening.
What do you think of this, not only the speech, but the interview?
Well, you'll hear those facts for the next 18 months, right, Nina? That's for sure. His interview was great, Sean. Federalism, obviously, is the predicate here. That's what he's going to say with regard to the health care charge. That's his major weakness. I thought his answer was very strong.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Nina?
Well, I have to disclose that my husband's an advisor to Romney.
You don't have to disclose it every time, but I know.
But I'll do it.
I'm defending you.
And an excellent advisor, too.
My wife doesn't agree with me on everything. Just as a side note.
Yeah, and I have my own opinions. Right. The timing, I have to say, of the announcement today, which was not, they didn't plan it, obviously, couldn't have been better. This is a week where housing prices were at the lowest since 2002. Unemployment's still at 9%. There's talk now of the possibility of a double-dip recession. We've got gas prices going up. People are troubled economically, and I think in general, there's all this talk and hand-wringing about the Republican field, and no one can stand up to Barack Obama. But I think when you look at the economy, I think it's a really good time to be a Republican candidate.
All those candidates will make those same points, though. Potentially the biggest problem for Mitt, obviously, is health care. And I just thought his answer with regard to your interview was the best I've ever seen him. Concrete, substantive.
Do you think that's going to help with the Tea Party and conservatives? Because I agree with you. I thought he really laid out what the differences were, where he stood, firmly saying he would repeal Obamacare. Yeah. I think it was the best answer he gave on it too, having watched it.
Down the right path. He still has a ways to go, but certainly that's a very strong.
Keep in mind too, when you look at the Republican field, you've got a lot of people vying for that Tea Party vote.
Right.
You know, so he's not going to get all of it, and there's going to be 2 or 3 or 4 people, you know, Herman Cain, definitely I think Michelle Bachmann's going to announce. Who knows if Sarah Palin will. Newt will appeal to some of those folks. So I think, you know, that space is crowded.
I have to disclose as well that I really just don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to. You did a great interview. I think we all kind of resented that you went to his house and you made us come into the studio. I didn't think that was too cool. But I disagree with his answer on Hamas about not negotiating with terrorists. I don't think you have to be polite to terrorists. I think you can hate them, but I don't think not sitting down with them, I don't think helps at all.
This is the first time I think I remember disagreeing with you, but here's Hamas that's charter calls not only for the destruction of Israel, but for killing Jews. And how do you sit down? Where do you begin the discussion? Will you please stop, you know, change your charter?
Fair enough. They're reprehensible. And I'm not just, you know, look, my CD's a big seller over there. All right, good. But they're really awful. Thank you. They're awful people, but not talking to them and both just standing there with our arms folded.
But you talk to...
Doesn't get anything done.
Bin Laden got a bullet in his brain, but if he was alive, what are you going to say to Bin Laden? Please like us?
Bin Laden's not a government, though. Like, when you look at Ahmadinejad, he talks a lot, but he's done nothing. He's done nothing.
He's trying to build nukes. I mean, he's building nuclear facilities.
But, Sean, the beginning point here can't be we want to destroy you, Jim. That's once it's not that, then you can go forward. But that can't be the foundation because you literally can't have a discussion as a result.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I despise Hamas, and I'm not saying it from a liberal point of view. Like, we should get to the root cause of what we did wrong to deserve it. But I don't think that not talking to them at all helps.
All right, we got to take a break. I know you have a few jokes on Wienergate.
I certainly do not. I would never stoop that low.
Or with our Great American panel straight ahead. And we continue with our Great American panel. All right, so we have this Anthony Weiner scandal. And, of course, he's angry. And you ask him, did you send the thing? If I was speaking before 45,000 people, is that picture yours? Well, I can't say definitively it's not me. Seems pretty guilty to me.
Absolutely. And you're talking to a man who has taken photos from that angle many times. But God,
one way to handle it, just, you know, be proud of it.
I wouldn't have sent that one out, though. That was rather unimpressive. Looked like a pinky wrapped in a nappy. Oh. You might want to Photoshop that.
Before you send it out.
Absolutely.
Can we go to the next subject, Violet?
No, I'm not letting you off the hook. Well, what do you think?
Well, he did everything wrong that a politician could have done wrong. Like, go out there. First you go out there. It was a lesson in how not to do media on this and made himself the butt of jokes. But you go out there. You either did it or you didn't do it. You either did it and, you know, you own up to it. You don't say, well, somebody hacked it, and it might be my picture, it might not be.
But I don't want an investigation.
Hair splitting is extremely dangerous as a political sport. Just ask Bill Clinton. I would say, however, back to the governor here thinks this is trivial, which he's going to say, which I think is right on some level, because this week we also saw Google announce a real computer hacking scandal, which is China is hacking into our computer systems and is hacking into White House officials' Gmail accounts.
That's right.
That is scary.
That's scary.
And the media is focused on this when they should be focused on that.
Listen, I know.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Go ahead. You think this is trivial?
No, I don't think it's trivial. No, of course, it's not trivial.
He's sending it to college.
A mess.
If he's sending it to college girls,
you're right.
You know, I mean.
But there are far larger issues with regard to the state of the country as well. That's my point. I think everybody would agree with that. The bottom line is we all agree. he created mass confusion as a result of his first day press conference. He tried to cure it yesterday with the one-on-ones. Didn't happen. Where does it go from here? We don't know.
Ralph Cramden handled pressure better than he does. I've never seen anybody fall apart. You know someone's guilty when they say certitude. That is the I give up, I'm guilty. Certitude.
I think he would have been better off if he did it, just admit the whole thing and get it over with.
I think my opinion is that there's more, and he may have even really been hacked because Y-Frog kind of stinks, but I think he's afraid of what else might be. It sounds like he's trying to cut something off 5 steps down the road, like he's worried about what else, or maybe he sent that photo to other people.
Probably pretty insightful about that. You know, but I do know people that have gotten hacked. For example, a very good friend of mine, really moral guy, is on AOL, and for like a 2-month period, I would get instant messages that said, "Come look at my sexy pics." You know, it did not come from him.
Right.
And he had to work hard to get the problem fixed.
I guess he thought there was a benefit in confusion. And the confusion now has only made it a multi-day story, and who knows where it's going to go from here.
Not one person I know believes him. Not one person I know is going, he sounds believable.
His supporters don't believe him, and that's, you know, his supporters are.
Well, he's not going to be,
and that's not a good sign.
He's not going to be mayor of New York. Period.
Well, that's a different story. That's a couple years away. This stuff tends to be a 2 or 3 day news event.
Can he survive?
You think he?
Do you survive? Nobody knows.
Why don't
it depends on
Republicans survive? I mean, if there was a Republican 6 seconds later, he would have been out of office.
That's been the history. That has been the history, no doubt about it.
Well, why is there that double standard?
Well, the media will cover it differently.
In his case, you know, if he had a reputation of being a hair splitter, being kind of somebody you didn't really quite trust, and it played into that narrative of him, then it would have been much more dangerous politically for him. I think as it stands now, depending on what happens, that he'll survive.
If you're a moralizer, they kill you with it. Like I think Spitzer, we're going to stop prostitution, and then he's living Jim Norton's life. So I think that's probably why he got sunk, because he was moralizing.
He got sunk. Last time I turned on CNN.
Yeah, the Black Sox kid. But that's why he got ruined, because he was a moralizer. If you're not moralizing about stuff, people tend to be more forgiving. Well, God, certainly not on the level he did. Believe me, we don't make the same amount of money. But if I had Elliot Spitzer money, you bet I would.
Oh, okay. You might get a show on CNN. I'm next candidate right here. That is an ironic part of this. You have governors. You have a governor of New Jersey having sex with strangers in truck stops and in bookstores. I mean, just
people think
Arnold Schwarzenegger runs for governor as a kid out of wedlock.
People think we all do it. You've been on Capitol Hill. It's just not the way it is, but it takes just a few to wreck the whole profession, and Hollywood plays into it, and the press plays it, but. You know a lot of members of Congress.
You know Nina. You know all about it. What are you doing to poor Nina?
My point is, she does. We all do. And, Sean, you know him, too. And the fact of it is, for the vast majority, it's not the way it is.
Guys, good panel tonight. Greta's next. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you with Sarah Palin tomorrow night.